My name is Daryl Wright. I'm Vice President for Knowledge and Career Development at YouthBuild USA.
The Department of Labor regulations now allow YouthBuild grantees to provide construction as well as training in other fields. This provides an incredible opportunity for YouthBuild grantees to begin connecting Exeters to opportunities within their local and regional labor markets. But where does one begin? In this video, we're going to describe the sector approach, discuss the importance of doing labor market analyses, and review recommendations for building and sustaining relationships with employers. The sector strategies require a great deal of upfront research. It can also help programs build long-term systems that increase placement opportunities as well as retention of Exeters. So let's begin. So a sector approach is a workforce development program that prepares individuals for skilled occupations in particular industries. It is usually demand-driven. That is, that it's based on the needs of employers to fill specific vacancies. Let's begin by looking at how YouthBuild programs add value. YouthBuild programs act as a recruitment and screening mechanism. YouthBuild programs can provide work readiness and academic skills training that based on particular occupations. YouthBuild programs also can provide a continuum of service so that young people are prepared for placements and then also supported after they get placed. The Department of Labor's requirement for YouthBuild programs to track Exeters 3 quarters after they leave the program provides an excellent selling point as YouthBuild programs try to connect with employers and post-secondary institutions. Career coaching, case management, and other resources ensure that YouthBuild graduates are retained in their employment positions and make it more likely for them to advance, to increase their skills and also their wages. Here are a few examples of how local YouthBuild programs are currently carrying out these types of partnerships. In Atlanta, a YouthBuild program is connecting with the logistics and transportation and supply chain sector. They're doing that by creating a credential through their local community college and also connecting with employers so that young people who earn those credentials can in fact be placed in that sector. In Louisville, the YouthBuild program is looking at the facilities management sector where there are a number of vacancies and adding value by providing additional training and certification to YouthBuild graduates so that they can enter into that area. So these are just a couple of examples of how YouthBuild programs are already engaging in high demand sectors in their particular localities. As YouthBuild staff, it's important for us to keep in mind that we are engaging in a win-win situation. Employers win because they get an opportunity to tap into a reservoir of talent that they normally would not have access to. Skilled young people from underrepresented groups. And of course, YouthBuild wins because we're able to connect young people to opportunities that offer long-term career growth at family-sustaining wages. Let's describe how YouthBuild program staff can select a high-demand sector in their areas. You have to begin by doing research. That is, looking at local labor market statistics and then identifying high growth industries and occupations in that particular area. Once staff have identified high growth industries and occupations in their areas, they need to verify that information with employers, working with them to identify and understand their needs, both related to soft skills, attitudes that are going to make for successful employees, as well as technical skills in order for students to be successful at entry-level positions. This also may require an additional step of identifying post-secondary institutions that are offering credentials in high-demand fields. And then finally, all of this sets the stage for programs to prepare students to acquire the necessary technical and academic skills in order to be successful in that particular sector. Identifying high-demand sectors begins at your computer. You can usually find state labor market information by simply going to your search engine, putting in your state plus labor market information. Put those in quotations and you will receive links to information that will give you a sense of the labor market landscape in your area. You can also check out the community of practice if you want specific state links. Keep in mind that high growth, high demand industries are those industries that are adding workers or have significant replacement needs due to turnover or retirements. These sectors also have advancement opportunities so that as young people increase their skills, they are also able to increase their rates of pay. And then sectors also have particular skill and workforce needs that might be a match for your students. Within high growth, high demand sectors, there are a range of occupations. You want to ensure that there is a sufficient demand for workers to make your work worthwhile. You also want to make sure that the work and skill requirements are reasonably attainable by your students within a reasonable period of time. And then finally, you want to ensure that the requirements don't present an insurmountable barrier for your students. So for example, if a number of your students have had some connection with the criminal justice system, you want to ensure that you're identifying occupations that don't have such involvement as a barrier for entry. There are occasions where you can engage partners in identifying high growth sectors. Your local workforce investment board often has that data, as do one-stop career centers. Now let's talk about how you connect with employers. You want to do your research just to ensure that you understand what the employer does and how they act within that particular sector. You also want to prepare a few talking points that will allow you to talk about what you do, what you're about in the YouthBuild program. And finally, you want to prepare an interview that will allow you to get as much additional information about what those employers are looking for in prospective employees. Keep in mind that what you are trying to do as you are engaging employers from beginning to end is create a sustainable relationship. So employers can provide information related to labor market need. They can also help you to identify the types of skills that they need and prefer among prospective employees. This is not just about placing young people into jobs, but about learning more about what employers want and need so that the YouthBuild program can in turn begin preparing young people for careers in those sectors. So After the interview, what is your ask? There are a range of choices that you have. You can ask employers to visit the program and provide students with important information about opportunities within their companies. You can ask them to be a part of informational interviews with students, whereby students ask them questions about career opportunities. They can also provide information on career ladders and specific skill requirements, and also the appropriate post-secondary credentials that are necessary for entry. Employers can also offer job shadowing opportunities or internship opportunities that are either paid or free, where young people are doing work and gaining valuable work experience within the company. They may also provide short-term or part-time employment. And of course, they can provide placement opportunities. If an employer says yes to any of these, you are gaining valuable insights into the requirements of the sector and the occupational opportunities that are a part of that particular sector. And you are also increasing the level of access that students have to employment opportunities. A critical piece of sector strategies is to build lasting relationships with employers. That requires YouthBuild staff to always be aware of the business's needs that may change from year to year based on a whole set of additional factors. We also want to ensure that we are placing reliable participants in these initial placements with employers. These young people can open doors for others, and so you want to make sure that these young people are highly motivated and are likely to be very successful, and of course satisfy the employer and build trust in the types of candidates your program is producing. Staff should also be prepared to provide follow-up and support to both employers and young people. This ensures that the employers have a relationship with the YouthBuild program and are able to articulate who's doing well in what placements and who may need additional support in order to be successful. When students become aware of the range of occupational opportunities and the types of skills required to advance in their fields of interest, they need to develop individualized career development plans that allow them to think about a strategy for gaining entry-level employment. Keep in mind that if young people change their minds, which they're often likely to do, they still have a set of transferable skills that may in fact help them to move into other career opportunities in sectors and occupations that interest them. The idea is to begin to fuel their creative thinking and to ensure that they're informed about the link between skills and employment so that they can become nimble actors in this larger economy.